please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and sometimes the good Lord does indeed smile upon you. Most times not. Okay, honestly, if we, the Messiah comes one day, whoever it is, he's riding a donkey, whoever, right? I think one of the big questions that needs to be answered is, if there is an infinite, all-loving, all-powerful God, why does life suck so hard? But there are good bits too, right? But sometimes there are good bits. These are one of the good bits, right? This is one of the good bits. I was looking for things to do videos on yesterday morning. That's basically what I do every morning, right? I Google Doctor Who, right? And then I click on news, and I click on latest. Look at all the news stories. You will find amazing things, right? Just amazing things. And this really genuinely fits into the category of an amazing thing. It's an article entitled The Highs and Lows of Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. Chris Chibnall's era of Doctor Who. Well, I can understand one of those. The other one confuses me now. Before we start, I want to say, if you like Jodie Whittaker's era, God bless you, baby. Right? God bless you. I don't, right? I don't. I really feel it's the antithesis of Doctor Who. I say this whenever I can, and I can a lot. Right? So I really, really do. I mean you no disrespect or harm. If you love it, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, the trouble is, though, a lot of people who say they love it really don't. They like that Jodie Whittaker had a vagina, essentially. And even not anymore, because having a vagina isn't specifically female. They love that Jodie Whittaker wasn't a white bloke, right? They like a white woman. Not so great, but still, wasn't a white bloke. That's really what it is. And I'm sure there must be people who genuinely like the era. There are not many of them, really. And will it ever be remembered? I really don't think so. Well, look, that's my prejudice for you, right? I always like to be honest, honest and upfront. That's my prejudice. I just don't think it's going to be remembered at all, right? Because I think, I just don't think it was very good. I don't think it engaged with a lot of people. And I think it engaged with people on an ideological level, certainly not on a entertainment level. But again, look, this is an opinion statement, right? An opinion statement. I do not have empirical data to back this up. This is my opinion. Which is fine. And look, but if you do like this era of Doctor Who, God bless you, right? Good for you. Good for you. Don't let anybody give you any crap about it. And don't be upset that not everybody loves it, right? I mean, don't be upset that it's very unpopular. I am plowing through the season 22 Blu-ray box set right now, and it's fantastic, right? I love it. I absolutely adore it. At the same time, I listened to Michael Gray's criticisms on it. There's a great interview. I think it's the best box set they've done, right? Michael Gray has this incredible interview with Matthew Sweet, who's just an incredible interviewer. And I think his criticisms and his reasons for casting Doctor Who, which he ended up not doing, but were completely on the money. Looking at, I understand why it was cancelled. I think, as I said, with reasonably good reason, right? It was taken over, and I loved it, right? I absolutely loved it, right? It's, you just got to be somewhat objective about these things. It's fine. It's fine that people don't like it, right? It's absolutely fine. Don't let that bother you. If you like it, you like it, baby. That's all that needs. I mean, and you can say that about absolutely anything, right? Absolutely anything. Good for you for liking it. I don't, right? With that introduction, I really don't, as you're going to probably pick up on throughout this video. Fine. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are great. YouTube loves the sharing. Sharing is caring, baby. Sharing is caring. YouTube loves that sharing. It loves the caring too. I like the subscribing. If you can, I'm about 15 away from up to being at, I don't even know, 3,500, 45. It's like a round number, right? It's about a round number of, I think 3,500. Is that I'm 15 away, right? If you can hit the subscribe button, that really helps. If you're on Rumble, subscribe there too. If you're not on Rumble, subscribe there too. I cannot promise you will be cured from all disease from doing it. But you might. Do you really want to risk it? I don't know. So like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack. Now my Substack It's my email newsletter, and it recently got awesome. It's in the email. It's in the video notes down there, right? It recently got awesome. I include in it all the stuff that's out of print that I love, like old backup strips from Doctor Who magazine. And honestly, Doctor Who magazine, right? You've been doing the reprints. See, you can see them on my shelf. Where are they? Yeah, they're over here. The reprints of all the Doctor Who magazine comic strips, which I really prefer. I mean, I don't like the American ones, but I like the Doctor Who magazine ones. Please put out a collection of the backup strips, right? They're absolutely gorgeous, those collections they put out. So it would have been so much better than Age of Chaos, which was the last one. God, that was really bad, right? Really, really shockingly bad. But okay, what can you do? So I put out like a bunch of stuff that again out of print. I think on Fridays I'm going to put out a different either new adventure novel. It's PDF. Again, you can't get them anymore. It's a lost era. Break my heart. It's a lost era. Also BBC Books ones. They're also out. The Doctor range also out of print. So that stuff goes out. And then, occasionally I'll put out yesterday's news. I started that yesterday. It was Gallifreyan Guardian from Doctor Who magazine, but from like 20, 30 years ago. And it's always fascinating to watch. So sign up to my Substack. I have a paid Substack. I offer a little bit more on that. Not that much. A little bit more. It's $5 a month. If you can throw me a buck or two. Oh my God, that's so good. I'm demonetized. Listen, I understand. If we're not in a recession, we very, very soon will be. That is tight. If you got the extra dosh, lovely. If not, just enjoy it. I thank you for being here. As I said, like, share, subscribe. That would be really... Sharing is great, by the way. That really, really helps. Comment as well. I always endeavor to answer all comments. Fine! Let's look at this article. It's on CBR.com. Now, CBR.com, I believe, is owned by CBS, right? And they are not a neutral news source, right? They are not... Basically, you can't trust any corporate media. You really genuinely can't find some kind of journalist commentator that who you've seen to be not that agrees with your prejudices, but who you've seen be correct more than once. And in fact, that's really your only choice for good news, for like reliable news. But CBS. Look, it's a big shill. Lots of comic shill websites, a lot of things saying Star Trek Discovery was really successful and everybody loved it. It wasn't. It was garbage and generally speaking couldn't get any ratings. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, freaking awesome, right? Freaking awesome. I am convinced if you put that on broadcast TV, right, and you put Discovery on broadcast TV and Picard on broadcast TV, one episode of Strange New Worlds will get probably double, triple of Discovery and Picard together, right? Quality sells. That's really the bottom line. Quality sells. So yeah, big shills, right? Big, huge shills. Let's hear what they got to say. Chris Chibnall there on Doctor Who garnered mixed reactions. No, not really. Fandom went, oh, this is awful, right? This is the worst thing ever. Shill Media went, oh, Jodie is the bestest. We love her the bestest because she's the best. And she's not, right? She's not the bestest. I'm sorry. The quality of, just the technical quality of writing throughout this entire era has been disgraceful. I would go far as say the word disgraceful. I mean, absolutely disgraceful. It's like... I'm still shocked at how unprofessional it is. If we have time after this article, I'm going to go over the last episode, Legend of Sea Devils. Just go over a few of the plot holes in there so you can see how freaking glaring it is. And it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Huge. I tell you, that word is never going to be the same after the age of Trump. It's got, instead of being spelt with an H, it's got to be spelt with a Y. Huge. My crowds were huge. Listen, I miss Trump. I mean, not just for the booming economy and world peace, because he made me laugh, right? That's why I got the Trump train to start with. When I heard Donald Trump was running for president, I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. And it was until, about 30% of the world lost their shit big time. Mixed reactions across the board. Here we look at the best and worst aspects of Chibnall's run. I'm still intrigued. Like, the best aspects of Chibnall's run, probably the Cyberman design, right? I think that's probably the best. But also you got the Cyberman floating head thing. That was awful, right? That was absolutely awful. Doctor Who is a British sci-fi series that constantly is experimenting with story ideas and finding new ways to stay relevant to a rapidly changing audience. That's fair. Yes, I think that's a good description of Doctor Who, right? It's always been on the forefront, right? It's a huge part of what's contributed to the show's longevity in both classic and the modern eras. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not all about change, but it has growth and change built in, and contemporariness, right? Being contemporary is just baked into the DNA of Doctor Who, right? Because you refresh the lead actor and the production team every few years, and you just get a more contemporary take on things, right? It's just natural. Yeah, so I really think that's a fair assessment. One modern showrunner one model that did both is Chris Chibnall, of both Torchwood and Broadchurch fame. Did both of what? It's a huge one. Did what? One modern showrunner that did both is both of what? Wait, let me read that. Doctor Who is a sci-fi series that constantly experimenting with story ideas, new ways of finding. Okay. Experiment with new story ideas and finding new ways to stay relevant, but failed desperately. I mean, nobody comes in and goes, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy this. I'm gonna absolutely destroy Doctor Who." Right? No, I don't think people do that. But and I think his goal was to make it relevant. Just he's a moron. So what can you do? Right? He believed Twitter. Right? He believed the Twitterati, which turns out to be mostly bots, apparently, as far as we can tell. But he believed Twitter. And he went headlong into the Twitterati, right? The Twitter view of reality, and made an unwatchable show that everybody hated. I think that's a fair estimation of what happened. From 2017 to present, Chibnall broke all kinds of grounds on Doctor Who. Yes, he got over and over again. He got the lowest ratings of all time, right? And that's after having being so protected with the ratings. They count it as a full viewer if you watch it for more than 2 minutes on iPlayer. Really? I mean, really? It's ridiculous, isn't it? The only rating you can really trust is the live one, right? Which I think that's comparable to the live rating in the classic series. And boy, it's doing bad. It gets like half of what the lowest Sylvester McCoy ever got, who was the lowest rated Doctor, right? I did a video yesterday. I'm recording this on Monday, July 11th. Probably going out on Wednesday, my guess. Unless I particularly like it, I'll save it to Friday. But man, I went over an article in which they were talking about how Jodie Whittaker's final episode will redeem the unpopular 7th Doctor and the 80th Doctor Who in general. Man, I nearly had an aneurysm while I was reading that. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. So broke all kinds of grounds of Doctor Who, from casting the first female Doctor. That was it. That was it, right? And not even there. I mean, I think Big Finish and Stephen Moffat did that in Curse of the Fatal Death, right? But Big Finish did it as well in Unbound. Neither that all three examples not that successful, right? I was going over a thing on my live stream last night talking about American doctors, right? There's a rumor there's an American production Doctor Who going around. I really don't actually believe it, like a parallel production. I really personally don't believe it, but wouldn't be awesome. But one of the people suggested was Emma Stone. And actually, I can kind of see that, right? I would rather see her as like a Romana, although Romana's very English, right? But or a new character. It could be the what was it? What episode was that? Invasion of Time. You had you had like a time lady who was clearly trying out for Romana, who's going to replace Leela, right? It was basically the template for Romana. She worked, I can't remember, somewhere in the capital doing capital things, right? I really don't recall. But yeah, maybe her. I mean, who cares? The first thing on Doctors Joe Martin and Jodie Whittaker. To pushing boundaries of storytelling. Yes, they made it unwatchable shit, right? Like, And honestly, they did. I mean, it's whenever I thought it can't. I mean, this is it. It can't get any worse. Season 11, it got arachnids in the UK. It can't get any worse than arachnids in the UK. It's just unprofessional. Oh no! Here comes the battle of robots of whatever. Who cares, right? Of how we understand Doctor Who as a character. Yes, they completely changed it, right? You know everything you love about Doctor Who? Well, forget all that, right? Forget all that. Now the only defining factor about Doctor Who is he's not a white man, right? That's it. That's the only defining factor now. And he wears silly clothes, right? And makes nonsensical decisions. I mean, honestly, the bit where Jodie Whittaker digs up the TARDIS and then they don't know how to get inside it, so they had to put a teleport in. It was just stupid. Like Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, basically stupid. That's what episode? Future of the Jadu, the Dr. Joe episode, the Dr. Ruth episode, right? Which had a TARDIS buried because they just wanted the mic drop moment, and nothing made sense around it because he's just not a very good writer. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but that's just the reality. These aspects of his run made him a highly controversial showrunner amongst Doctor Who fans and the general public. Not really controversial. They just went, "Oh, Doctor Who's shit. We're not going to watch it," right? And that's what happened, right? It got the lowest ratings ever, right? By however you want to slice it, the lowest ratings ever. To pushing the boundaries of storytelling too, and how we understand the Doctor as a character. Okay, these aspects of his run made him controversial amongst Doctor Who fans, but how much of the criticism is warranted? All of it, more than you've ever thought of. All of it, okay? I did deep dive reviews of his first season. I'm getting back to doing it now on his second season. I think the reason I stopped is because I just couldn't stand sitting through the bloody things anymore to get the screen grabs and be able to go through it because it's just too bloody painful. Because it's awful, right? It's genuinely awful. How much is warranted? From season 11 to the 2022 specials, we examine the highs and lows of Chris Chibnall's run. So let's have a look. Chibnall explored the Doctor as a gender fluid alien. Really didn't. Really genuinely didn't. Jodie Whittaker didn't play the Doctor as a woman, right? Played it as a sexless, amorphous creature, right? I thought the idea of the Doctor being male for hundreds of years, thousands of years, however long, and now being female could have been fascinating. Again, you needed talented people, right? You needed like talented people to be able to pull this off. Jodie Whittaker just isn't that good an actress, in my opinion, right? Based on the work I've seen her do, which Doctor Who was just awful, right? I mean, she just clearly had no idea about the character, right? Because she hadn't put that much thought into the character. I was thinking about Matt Smith's run last night. Again, I was doing a live stream because we were talking about Murray Gold's music for it. And he spent a year preparing for that. And he's a smart actor, and you could tell. And it was just perfect, right? His Doctor Who was I think, just a perfect representation of the character. I think that about Capaldi as well. I mean, but really, absolutely perfect. I mean, the marriage of the music and the characterization. Amy Pond, it just was perfect. I didn't love the TARDIS console, right? But generally speaking, for me, if you strip down the essence of the character, that was Matt Smith, right? Now, Jodie Whittaker was the opposite of that. I don't think she ever saw the character as being real, right? I don't think she ever saw it as being a three-dimensional character, something you could believe in. So, that's how her performance came out. Something that people just couldn't relate to because it wasn't genuine, right? That was really the problem with it. So one of the high points, after that introduction about Jodie Whittaker's horrible miscasting, one of the high points of Chibnall's era has been the exploring of Doctor as a gender fluid alien. No, he hasn't. I'm sorry, he really has not. I understand she's got a rainbow over her tits, right, over her non-existent tits, because God forbid anything should be for the male gaze, right? I understand that, but man, it used to be. being gay was it had to have some kind of sexuality built into it. Now it's just like, no, I just like wearing leather chaps and twerking on a float, right? I mean, it could be freaking anything now. We live in strange times. We live in very strange times. Despite the title's regenerative ability to literally change race and gender, fuck off. I mean, really, it's such a boring two-dimensional. Literally take it. Well, listen, if he can literally do that, why has he always been a white bloke, right? Having said that, I'm fine with Shooty Gutman's casting. I'm super excited for it, in fact. But like, you know, the idea that the Doctor Who is a super fluid really only came in with the Moffat era when it became fashionable, right? And that's when they moved away from same-sex marriage. Right? Do you remember Day of the Moon when was it the FBI guy said, "Oh, I want to marry somebody," and Nixon's like, "Oh, with a Negro? Oh, I'm more open-minded than you think." And he goes, "Yes, he is." It was ridiculous. I mean, it just ridiculous. But I think that's more from the BBC than anything else. This concept hasn't been explored in depth. Yes, because you go back to 2015 and the idea of gender fluidity is ludicrous, right? Ludicrous. Not because everyone was a racist bigot. It's because to get political power in 2020s and 2022, you got to have racism. You got to have bigotry. If you don't have racism and bigotry, you got nothing to campaign on. So you got to make it up, right? So you got to take something that's patently absurd, right? Patently absurd. Like, it's like running on the world being flat, right? And yeah, there are people there who believe the world to be flat, right? And then say, you are a racist if you don't think the world is flat. I mean, it's patently absurd. And again, you go back to 2015 and you see how absurd that the normative view of reality is. Of fluidity. This is why we have comedian after comedian after comedian apologizing for being a normative human being in the dim mists of the past. So idiot children who really haven't existed in a world without social media or unlimited free porn, right? Which has got to do something to your head. Nothing good. This concept has been explored in depth. Yeah, exactly. This was true even when previous showrunner Stephen Moffat depicted the first female incarnation of the Master and a few other gender-changing Time Lords. Yeah, it was heavily intimated the reason that Kabbalah's Doctor didn't recognize the Master was because she changed gender, right? Heavily intimated that, right? By exploring this with the Doctor, Chibnall explored how the Time Lord adjusts to her body, the changes to her body undergoes with each regeneration. Didn't touch it at all. Did not, apart from a few glib idiot throwaway lines. For the first thing, Dr. Jodie Whittaker, this meant getting used to using female pronouns. At no point did they touch that. And if they did, I don't remember. But often still referred to herself as a man. In later seasons, she stopped thinking about gender, preferring to think of herself as fluid. Oh, you mean like as the entirety of media told us that's what society thought, right? Chibnall explored the first queer romance with the Doctor. I don't think this is a high. I think this is a low. I think the traditional romance with Rose, I think, was very, very dangerous and really needed somebody of insane skill to be able to write that, which was Russell T Davies, right? And even so, many fans were just, nope, right? Just noped out of that one, right? I was fine with it, again, because I think I love Russell T Davies' work, and I think it was done with particular skill, right? Really, really particular skill. Related to the point about the Doctor's gender fluidity is their sexuality. Prior to the 13th incarnation, the Doctor had 12 previous white male regenerations and had been depicted as both ace and heterosexual. God. Okay, if somebody there is asexual, is anybody watching this asexual? God bless you. I hope you will. I don't think that's good, right? I don't think that's good for you, right? I don't think that's a healthy expression of your sexuality. I think you should have some therapy. I think it's like saying, I have eyes, but I can't see, right? It's having a central aspect to your being non-functional for you isn't good news. You really, and calling it ace doesn't make it good news, right? But yeah, no, I like the idea that you know why the Doctor was asexual in the past? Because not everything needed to have sexuality put into it, right? Do you remember when you were a kid and you were able to watch Tom Baker without saying, "Oh, I wonder if he likes to suck a cock"? Yeah, no, nobody ever did that. Nobody ever. I guess somebody did that. If you did that, let me know in the comments. But most people didn't do that. I think, again, I don't know now, right? And that's just my prejudice. I'm assuming most people didn't do that. Another high point of the Chibnall era is confirmation that the Doctor is queer. God, no! No. That's not a high point. That's a low point, right? One of Michael Gray's criticisms about season 22, which I think he's absolutely right about, was the use of violence was a sign of desperation, of not knowing what to do, right? Of really not knowing where to go. And I think he's really on the money with that, right? I think he's really 100% on the money with that. In the same way, I think using this queer romance, and queer just can be freaking anything now, right? You can be a furry, and that's kind of like, again, it was just desperation of not knowing what to do, right? And thinking, oh, I can get more woke points with this. I guess, yeah, that's what they all live for. The confirmation that the Doctor is queer and tends to fall in love with people regardless of their gender. Tends to, does he? Really? Again, I didn't see him long after Sarah Jane Smith, right? I didn't see old Sixie wanted to bang Perry. That was me, okay? That was me. I would just love to know, what was the thought process of Perry in the morning when she said, I think today turquoise spandex shorts and red heels. Why not go for turquoise heels? I mean, I don't understand, but like, what was her thinking behind that? And then be angry. I don't know. While the Doctor had kissed men in their 9th and 11th incarnations, excellent and Matt Smith's respect. I don't remember Matt Smith doing it, but I believe you. It wasn't until 13th incarnation that the same-sex romantic relation was seriously considered. Oh, really? I know, right? And again, how is this sexual confusion that young people are being that's being imposed on young people? How is it helping them? I mean, it's helping them decide, yeah, maybe they want to have gender affirming care, which is life-changing surgery, which we have to give them at the age of 13 now, because otherwise we're bigots, right? Complete bigots if you don't have your tits cut off. Really? Okay, then. I don't think this is for the good, right? I don't think this is for the good. And I don't... honestly, what happened to the day and age where, and this is where I am. I really don't mind what two or more, or whatever number of consenting adults do in private. What you want to do in private is what you want to do in private. Why does everything need to be so bloody public? I would suggest, right? Again, if you need to feel pride about yourself. And the only way you can do that is if you have massive parades of people wearing leather chaps, old men wearing leather chaps, twerking to 6-year-olds in the crowd. I would say perhaps that's a you problem rather than a society problem, right? I don't understand. Again, I just don't understand why public lewdness and decency are not things anymore, right? And I don't think this is a good thing for the world, right? I don't think we're benefiting from it. The storyline is currently being explored with a female companion, Yasmin Khan, who is also the first Muslim companion. Oh God, I want to vomit. Yeah, because we all know lesbianism is rife in the Muslim world, right? You go to any Muslim country, they love the LGBT. I mean, admittedly, they love throwing them off buildings and killing them, or chaining them to bikes and cars and dragging them to death. They love that. They love that. I mean, where was the last Pride Parade you heard of in Egypt, right? One of the most liberal Muslim countries. Really? So fucking stupid. I mean, it's just so fucking stupid. It makes me sick. First Muslim, okay. The second POC lesbian right after companion Bill Potts. I wonder if there's any agenda. No, that's just crazy conspiracy talk. The only major criticism of the relationship between 13 and Yaz is it's happening at the tail end of Chibnall's run. Yes, he saw it and then, we better shoehorn that in because that will make people not notice the insanely amateurish writing, right? Which is what it is, insanely amateurish. Which means there's very little room for it to be meaningfully fleshed out. There's never any room to be meaningfully fleshed out. Chibnall had the most diverse companion. God, everything you fucking think about is racist. Who is this person? Is there anything that Diane Darcy? God, I don't know what it's like living in your old Diane, but not everything is about identity. Maybe some things about quality of character. No, because there's no quality of characters over there, apart from Graham. Prior to Chibnall's, diverse companions traveling with the Doctor have been few and far between. Fuck off! No, it wasn't. Okay, go look at 2005. You don't think 2005 was a completely lovely, diverse cast? Right, you had Mickey dating Rose. Nobody even noticed he was fucking black. You idiots. I mean, really? Racism wasn't a thing. I would say from 2000 to 2015, it was a post-racist world, right? And Western world. And it was, because we all lived there. Idiots. Apart from you idiot children. Like Diane Darcy here. Few and far between. Apart from Jack Hartnett, apart from the queer Jack Hartnett. Well, how do you know Adric wasn't gay? How do you know Turlo wasn't gay? I don't understand. Why are you assuming it was gender? I don't know. John Barrowman and black companions Mickey Smith and Martha Jones. Other than, okay, let's just go through all the companions for a second. We had Rose, Mickey, Captain Jack, Donna, Martha, and then you had Amy, Rory, and then Clara, then Bill Potts. So 9, right? Nine companions in 9 companions in the modern era, right? So of those 9, you had Captain Jack, Mickey, Bill Potts, and Martha. So 4 out of the 9, right? So that's about 45%. I think that's considerably higher than the demographics of the country, right? But no, they're few and far between. Really, they're like, what was it, represented 4 times greater than the demographic outlay of the country? They're few and far between. You idiot, cunt. Oh God. So other than all these examples that prove me wrong completely, the majority of full-time command has been young white women. Oh no. Oh, that's just gross. Young white women. Terrible. Chibnall was the first showrunner to have a full-time black companion. You mean other than Bill Potts? Really? Christian was the first showrunner to have a full-time black companion stick around for more than 1 season. Blimey. You had to qualify that, didn't you? And a Muslim companion for an entire era. Yeah, and again, Muslim lesbians, they're so prevalent, right? Go to Saudi Arabia, you'll find a pride parade, around every corner, right? Because that's so normal. Ignorant cunt. Muslim companion for an entire era. Chibnall was also the first showrunner to have a middle-aged white companions. White male companion. Well done. Yeah, well done. Yeah, he thought he'd better put in somebody who the audience could relate to and liked. Another high point. Are these all the high points? Really? Another high point of Chibnall's companions is the themes he explores with them. Yaz explores the intersections of being a lesbian and Muslim in a racist, homophobic world. We don't live in a racist, homophobic world, unless you're talking about in a Muslim country, which is racist and homophobic, right? Yeah. What? Get citation, please. Any form of citation, right? Any form of citation. No? Oh, what a shock! You don't have any. and how that impacts mental health. Oh yeah, she was a Muslim in Yorkshire who was bullied for being a Muslim. Have you ever been to Yorkshire? Really? Really? How about this? Why don't you go to Bradford, right? Why don't you go to Bradford and say, "Hi, I'm Jewish. Would you like to try some Israeli produce and see what racism is like?" Fucking idiot. Oh, okay. It was even implied that Yaz's struggled with depression at one point, contemplated suicide, which is pretty dark for so like Doctor Who. The only criticism, we got another only criticism. The only criticism is Yaz's character didn't get the same level of development compared to Ryan and Graham. No, the reason they didn't is because Bradley Walsh is a much better actor. Ryan didn't get any more development than Yaz, right? But Bradley Walsh is a personal person, so he imbued the character with what we like to call humanity and personality, right? Kimball spotlighted non-white historical figures, because that's important, right? Yeah, nobody knew about Rosa Parks, right? It was, and the way they did it was awful, right? This is just awful. I would say disgusting tokenism. The Rosa episode was horrible. I don't think we got a very realistic take on Mary Seacole. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. When you look at people like objects, like you do, right? The person who writes this does. When you look at people like a collection of skin color and gender and identity, right? That might make you the racist, right? That might do. I know. Actually, I do know. You are a racist. One of the major selling points of Doctor Who has been the historical episodes, which give the companions and the audience an opportunity to experience historical events in a fantastical way. Prior to Chibnall, however, the majority of historical episodes focus on white men who shaped history for better or worse. Yes, those evil white men that ended slavery and fought the First and Second World Wars. Oh, those evil white men. Those evil white men, they gave you a world of, liberty, freedom, and equality, right? Those terrible, terrible white men that gave you all the freedoms that you just take for granted. Ugh. And I'm not saying it's because white men are intrinsically better. I'm just saying white men are people who did it. Ding-a-ling. Okay, let me just wind you back before to explain how humanity works, because this is like clearly is beyond you. Men and women are equal, right? Men and women are equal. Men would normally go out and be the hunter-gatherers, right? They would go and kill animals and bring them back. Women who are weaker, who wouldn't do that, would then make the homes, right? Like take the animal and cook them. Both people were needed. Both were vital, right? If you didn't have one, you would die. The reason the men had to protect the women, because if you don't have women, you cannot reproduce and your tribe dies. Idiots! Right? That's how this sociology happened, right? Because if you don't have women, and if you don't protect the women, your tribe will then die. That's why, history is, by and large, executed by white men. But, it's not universal, right? I so many examples of non-white men being pivotal history. Queen Elizabeth, you ever heard of her? No, I guess not. I mean, it's just, this idea that we live in a racist world is utterly obscene, right? Utterly ridiculous. But again, you need racism to be able to sell this politics, right? And if you don't have racism, they have nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. Focus on white men. During Chibnall's run, he more often focused on women who shaped history. Yes, because again, he's making Doctor Who for Twitter, right? Which is why nobody fucking watched it. You idiot. I wonder if I make Doctor Who instead of for everybody, but if I make it for the good people, not the garbage people, the good people. Now the good people are only 1.5% of the people of the population, but they will love it. But they don't really like Doctor Who anyway. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They'll feel very, very virtuous putting their children in front of it and tying them to the chair and making them watch it. Oh yes, and they like feeling virtuous. Oh, very much. They don't like doing anything of virtue to feel virtuous, but they love feeling virtuous. The first historical woman, Chibnall devoted an entire episode to was Rosa Parks. Shit episode, right? Absolute shit episode full of plot holes that made no sense. Again, if Rosa Parks wasn't forced to give up her seat on the bus, or wasn't forced to refuse to give up her seat on the bus, right, then black people would have remained enslaved. There'll be no civil rights movement up till the 50th century. Now, interestingly enough, I would say black people are more enslaved now than they were in the 1950s, right? Far more. Right, and by exactly the same people, the people who had the chains, right? People who chained up and sold black people, they were called Democrats. If you remember, right? Then when slavery ended, the people who put on white hoods and burnt down black people's farms, they were called Democrats, if you recall, right? So now the people who have instituted the destruction of the family unit in black communities, they're called Democrats, right? The people who have instituted a mass dependent on narcotics, right? They're called Democrats, right? So still with the chains, right? Still with the chains of the white hoods. Sort of a Montgomery bus boycott movement in 1955. Oh, I wonder who boycotted the buses. Was it white people as well? Maybe. If it's only black people, what difference? Right? And explored how racism didn't end with the civil rights movement. No, it ended about in the year 2000, right? When we basically, it was a post-racist world. Other women Chibnall highlighted was Ada Lovelace, blinking you miss her, right? Writer, mathematician, and daughter of Lord Byron. Noor Inayat Khan, a British spy and special operations executive during World War II. Blinking you miss her. Mary Seacole, a British Jamaican-born nurse who ran a British hotel during the Crimean War. Mary Shelley, one of the most boring episodes I've ever seen, right? Lord Byron and Mary Shelley, and they made it boring. How'd you do that? That's really incredible. How'd you make Lord Byron boring? Well done. And famous author of Frankenstein and the infamous pirate queen, Madam Ching. Yes, of course. Again. Oh, God. Chibnall experimented with new ideas but struggled with execution. No, I think he executed it quite. He executed it as well as the execution was as good as the ideas. Which was shit. But I would say the execution was better than the ideas, often, right? I like the Cyber Lords. I thought that was quite a cool idea. I know everybody hated them. I thought that was an interesting plan, right? I like the design of them. I like the design of the Chibnall Cybermen. I like the design of the Dalek ship in, what was it? Revolution of the Dalek, right? That was good, right? That was good. Sontarans, freaking awesome. The teaser in the Sontaran episode in Flux, awesome, right? That was actually very, very good. The cinematography in that episode as well, really, really nice. I mean, that was really, really beautiful. The most controversial aspect of Chibnall's era was his story ideas, which were shit. Not really controversial. We all think they're shit, right? If you think that's controversial, I don't know what your problem is. And the execution of his of even his best ideas. Part of this was due to COVID-19. No! Timeless Children happened way before COVID-19. No. In fact, COVID-19 probably made Flux far better than whatever piece of shit he was going to put out was. Affecting the show's production. No! I can't believe you're hiding behind that bullshit. Really? Another part of it was due to experimental nature of his run, which didn't lend a consistent story structure across different seasons. You mean it was shit? It was badly written? Yes, we know. We're aware it was shit, right? You know how we know? We're Doctor Who fans, right? I've watched it, so you don't have to, right? So, but let me tell you, it was shit, right? Season 11, for example, was mostly episodic with no central threat or story. No, there was. The central threat was white men. White men ignoring the Doctor. You know, this is what I've worked out, right? This is what I've worked out about women from watching this Doctor Who. That if a woman says an idea that's stupid, and is treated as an equal in the workplace after saying a stupid idea, they will feel they're being evilly dismissed, right, by sexist men, right? They won't consider their idea as shit, right? No, there's no possibility. Another great thing in the Michael Grade interview on season 22, by the way, is talking about the BBC, and said the BBC will never, ever, ever be able to contemplate the idea that they're wrong. BBC is always right, right? It seems to be a similar thing. I did like the way was it Art Malik just dismissed the Doctor, Whittaker's Doctor in that second episode, Ghost Monument, which I actually thought at that point I was still hopeful it was going to be good. COVID-19. I can't believe you're hiding behind that, you lying cunts. Affecting the show's production, and another part of it was due to the experimental nature of his run, which didn't episodic with no central threat or storyline, but did focus on the characters Ryan, Graham, and Yaz. Even with his more excellent ideas. What were his more excellent ideas? Excellent. Chibnall, more excellent ideas. I mean, really? Who learnt you to write English? Who taught you English? Tonto? His more excellent ideas. Oh God. Chibnall often struggled to build those ideas consistently. Yes, because he's a shit writer. Which was the case with the Timeless Child storyline. While the Timeless Child did resolve the limited regenerations issue for the future showrunners. Scott, I'm sorry, Moffat already solved that, right? We don't know how many regenerations Matt Smith was given, right? Minimally it was 12. That lasted 55 fucking years. I think we're good for another 55 years. Timeless Child did blah blah blah. It even tossed a new story possibilities, but it wasn't, right? It didn't get sufficient build-up it needed to make the impact it was aiming for. Had 2 years. Really? It had 2 years. It's not like it didn't have enough time or resources, right? Doctor Who Flux provided the best opportunity to capitalize on the idea since it told a single story across 6 episodes. The problem was it was a bad story that had no ending, right? The problem was it was too big a story to contain in only 6 episodes, which led to too many storylines happening at once. Again, everything Chibnall does is to distract you from his fundamental lack of talent. His fundamental lack of ability to write, right? Happening at once, which affected the pacing. Generally speaking, I think Flux was the best thing he did. On the whole, there are more positive to Chibnall. Well, in this article, yeah, which is dealing with pure fantasy. Positive Chibnall's era, than negatives in terms of modernizing the show for a new generation. No, we're spitting this all out. It has all been vomited away because it's been utter failed garbage, right? Utterly failed garbage. And then negatives in terms of for a new generation Doctor Who fans. With a more thoughtful execution of Chibnall's strongest ideas, didn't have any. The storylines he crafted would leave a stronger, lasting impact. Well, they're not leaving any impact. They are being written away. No one's going to remember it. There's going to be nobody looking back fondly at this era, right? Because, bottom line, it wasn't very good. It didn't connect to the audience. It was just written for in another universe, the universal Twitter, right? The universal Twitter. Look at that. I didn't have to even get to the backup article talking about all the plot holes in what was it? The Sea Devils, Legend of the Sea Devil, Ekithel. There you go. The highs and lows of Chibnall. There were only lows, baby. There were only lows. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Like, share, subscribe, Substack, and have yourselves a freaking awesome day.